Remember, y'all, I've been trying to tell y'all, and we're going to just show you. We're going to take you right now to Congress. I was minding my business, taking a nap at my office, and somebody sent this to me and told me that Mr. Sunday Law, Jonathan Berry, look at this right here. It's live right here. It says Senate Resolution 377 authorizing the en bloc consideration in executive session of certain nominations on the executive calendar is the pending business. They're doing it right now. Right now, they're doing a quorum call to make sure they got all the pieces together. And brothers and sisters, what does this mean? It means that Mr. Sunday Law, Jonathan Berry, if this passes, will be the solicitor of labor, as we've been talking about for so long. Brothers and sisters, somebody said, well, Dr. O, how do you know that Jonathan Berry's name is on the calendar today? I'm glad you asked. Somebody, and thank God for the late person that sent this to me. I was just taking a nap, minding my business after taking me a nice walk around Oakwood. And brothers and sisters, and look at this right here. It says right on here, Senate of the United States 119th Congress, executive calendar, September 15th, which is right now, today. I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, it's on the executive calendar, prepared under the direction of Jackie Barber, etc. It says unanimous consent agreement ordered. I got to read all this. I got to give you all the receipts and stuff. Look what it says right here. It says, now look at this right here, y'all. Now, Mr. Sunday Law himself. I told, oh, help me, Holy Spirit. Uh-oh. Watch this. Let me read it to you. Hold on. Okay. Look at this. That upon the conclusion of the morning business on Monday, September 15th, 2025, the Senate proceed to executive session and resume consideration of Senate Resolution 377, an executive resolution authorizing the en bloc consideration, meaning we're voting on all as one, just like they do at a GC session, an executive session of certain nominees under the executive calendar or ordered further, that is at 5:30 p.m., notwithstanding the Rule 22, that all post-closure time be expired and the Senate vote on adoption of the resolution. So, brothers and sisters, it's all these names authorizing the en bloc consideration in executive sessions. Now, watch this right here. As you look on it, and I'm serious, this thing is real. Nominations, all these nominations are coming down. Well, somebody said, where's Jonathan Berry? Where's Mr. Sunday Law at? Well, guess what? Just wait. Hold on now. It's 30 pages. Now, watch this right here. Just to let you know that I wasn't lying to you, that I'm not being a crying wolf. Look at this right here. All these nominations. All these nominations. I'm not worried about none of these people except for one person, and that is Mr. Sunday Law himself. And brothers and sisters, Jonathan Berry's name is on this roll. Brothers and sisters, let me tell you, this thing is here. And yeah, I think it's page 11. Yeah, Department of Labor. And say, look, I don't care what, there it is, right there. Mr. Sunday Law himself, right there. Jonathan Berry of Maryland to be Solicitor of Labor for the Department of Labor. Brothers and sisters, when it says Vice Seaman Nanda resigned, it doesn't mean that Jonathan Berry has resigned. That means that the lady here, the person named there is resigned. There it is right there, Department of Labor. This is supposed to be going down right now. Look at this right here, y'all. Live from Washington, D.C. Look at this right here. This is part of it, to do an en bloc consideration. Brothers and sisters, this is what they're trying, this is what they're doing, and this is what they're going to do today. Uh-oh. They're doing it right now, a quorum call. And a quorum, as you know, in a forum, just making sure you have enough people in order to do business. So, brothers and sisters, this is going on live right now. Mr. Sunday Law himself. Name, and we call him Mr. Sunday Law because he wants to bring on Sunday blue laws. And brothers and sisters, we're not sitting here lying to you. We're not sitting here. It's right there in front of your face. All you 7-day Adventists, it's right there in your face, right there. We showed it to you. We gave you the receipts. It's just a matter of whether God allows it to happen or not. Let me tell you this right here. The plan is to vote him in right now. For all of you that are watching, for all of you that are watching, and we just probably just gonna be here until the vote goes down. This is a quorum call, and brothers and sisters, this is the quorum call to bring up Mr. Sunday Law himself, Jonathan Berry, to Congress. Brothers and sisters, this is definitely breaking news because we're gonna just show it to you. For those who don't believe me, you go on the Senate website. I want to thank the layperson who woke me up because I was taking a nap and I saw it in my own eyes. Here it is.
Thank you.
All right.
Mr. President, as you know, like I do, we had a terrible tragedy that occurred last week. I don't think that it's quite understood by people who Charlie's life didn't affect what his death meant to all of us. Not only is it that a 31-year-old died, which of course would be tragic to anybody, but to see him publicly assassinated, gunned down, where his death is captured on video after video after video. You look at that, you think, where's the humanity? I think one of the things that's most important to understand is that there was a private person named Charlie Kirk. He wasn't just the leader of an incredible movement that we know and are familiar with, Turning Point USA. He was a son, he was a father, he was a husband. I got to know Charlie about 13 years ago. I was in my office in Cleveland, Ohio, and my receptionist said to me, "There's a young man here to see you. He wants to talk about an idea he has." Now, in my business, typically I'm seeing people who are interested in purchasing automobiles from one of my dealerships. I said, "Well, who is this guy?" And my office is right in the showroom. I said, "Well, come on in my office." And Charlie Kirk shared with me a vision that he had. And he had built out the entire concept of what we know as Turning Point USA in his head. He visualized hundreds of chapters in every major college and university throughout America where students could actually debate ideas. It wasn't about everybody had to have one point of view or a different point of view, but they could actually discuss an idea in a collaborative way, not with hatred, not with animosity, but rather with the idea that people would listen to each other. Now, this is a time over a decade ago where we didn't understand the extent of the indoctrination that was going on in our colleges and universities, but I was so impressed by that young man's vision, by his conviction, by his energy, by his charm, that I happily wrote him what he thought was a big check. By today's dollars, it was definitely not. And I referred a few friends to him. He was very excited, stayed in touch during the years. Lo and behold, he builds this incredible organization. I ended up running for Senate. He activated that group, helped me tremendously in Ohio. Now, if you look at what he did, I'm certain for you, Mr. President, the same way for me, the way young people really took to his message. They want to have a voice in the future of our country. And that's what Charlie wanted for them. Now, I will tell you, it's extremely sad, quite disappointing to see some of the reactions online, people actively cheering that a 31-year-old husband, father, and son would die. The pejoratives used against them, comparing Nazism and fascism, a stain on human history that shouldn't be compared, quite frankly, with anything. I think it's fair to say that Hitler and Nazis should have a special dark place in history and not compared with anyone or anything. Because you see, when you do that, you're inviting people, crazy people, to take actions in their own hands, like what we saw tragically in Utah. So I hope what comes out of what we just went through is that colleges and universities all over America heed Charlie's call. Let's have our American colleges and universities be the one place where freedom of speech is respected, where people can debate ideas, and even if we don't agree. For example, Madam President, you and I may not agree that Ohio State University is the best college football team in America. You may have a different point of view. It's wrong. I know it's wrong, but sadly, you may have a different idea. But we could be friends. We can have a dinner together. We don't have to be mad at each other because we have a different points of view. And of course, I'm being flippant because there's more difficult conversations for us to have. But it should never go to hatred. Now, look, I don't want to make this remark about partisan politics, but let me just say to my Democrat colleagues, when you say we're at war and you must do anything you can to make certain that we protect our democracy, that is a bat signal to crazy people. When a Democrat leader says that President Trump is Hitler or a Nazi, it's a bat signal to crazy people. When the media, for example, in my state, the Cincinnati Enquirer, said that after President Trump was almost assassinated, much like Charlie was, that he brought it on himself, quote unquote. That sends a message to crazy people. When the Cleveland Plain Dealer, the largest newspaper in Ohio, analogizes J.D. Vance, our great vice president, your friend, my friend, who we know personally, and says that he's a Nazi sympathizer, that he reminds the editor of what it must have been like to be with Nazis in the 30s. Sends a bat signal to crazy people. It puts us all in danger. That's unacceptable. We can have vigorous debates. In fact, I would say we should have more vigorous debates on the floor. In fact, when we're doing confirmations for nominees, I welcome the Democrats to come out here and defend their position as to why they're not going to confirm somebody. But for 81 out of 100-plus nominees, they don't even bother to debate. And for the ones that they do, it's 2 minutes of debate. Let's have more vigorous debates, but let's do it respectfully. Let's do it from a point of view of, this is what I believe, tell me what your beliefs are, not just yelling at the presiding officer when nobody else is on the floor. That's not a debate. That's trying to get a 30-second clip on social media. That's not what this institution should represent. This should be like those college campuses, a place for free exchange of ideas. Maybe sometimes, although I find it hard to believe, that my colleagues could make a point that may change some minds on this side. It would be great to see that. And I hope that when we make points that they listen. And that's what Charlie wanted. What I'd like to do now is ask unanimous consent that the Senate observe a moment of silence in remembrance of Charlie Kirk, Erica Kirk, and their 2 young children who had to ask their mom when their dad was going to come home. And understand that we had a great tragedy. So, Madam President, I ask for unanimous consent to have that moment of silence.
Without objection.
I note the absence of a quorum.
The clerk will call the roll.
Ms. Alsor-Brooks.
So as you're looking at it right now, this is Senate Resolution 377, authorizing the en bloc consideration in executive session of certain nominations. En bloc means that they're going to vote them in all at one time. And for those of you that have that were at the general conference session, all the names that were to be voted in were not voted one by one, but as a block. So Jonathan Berry's name is on here, and it's right here. This is from today on the Senate website, Department of Labor, Jonathan Berry of Maryland to be solicitor for the Department of Labor. If this goes through, brothers and sisters, this means that he will be the solicitor at the Department of Labor to to enforce what he talks about Sunday laws in America, brothers and sisters. Hold on. All right. Mm, mm. And this is one of the people.
Trump
Mr.
has
Sunday
run
Law
a
himself is coming up.
months-long campaign.
We're about to turn it back on here. Listen, watch this right here.
His own economic failures. He has tried to intimidate and threaten to fire federal chair Jerome Powell, and when that didn't work, he illegally attempted to fire Fed Governor Lisa Cook so that he could seize control of the board. Both of those failed, so now he is attempting to install his own puppet on the board with Dr. Myron, someone who intends to keep his White House job as the president's chief economic advisor open while serving at the Fed, setting up an unprecedented and unacceptable conflict of interest that will only ultimately cause more pain for American families. Don't just take it from me. Take it from one of the president's closest advisors, Larry Kudlow, who said, quote, "The bottom line is President Trump's going to take the Fed over as he should." And Senate Republicans are facilitating it, including by jamming.
You hear that? You hear that? Yep. Wow. Wow. Hear it.
that he would lower costs, in his words, quote, on day one. Those were his words. He said it over and over as he ran for president. He would lower costs on day one. He didn't. Now, the cost of groceries, up. The cost of utility bills, up. The cost of housing, up. The cost of healthcare, up. The cost of back-to-school shoes and backpacks and baby strollers, up and up and up. He also promised a golden age for American workers. And again, he has failed. Job growth is down. The economy lost jobs in June. Unemployment is up, and people are staying unemployed longer. And worker confidence in the labor market is at its lowest since the end of the great financial crisis. Donald Trump could reverse course on his failing economic agenda. He could start helping families instead of turning everything over to his billionaire buddies. But instead, Trump wants to point the finger at everyone else and make the Federal Reserve his scapegoat. If Republicans let Trump interfere with the Federal Reserve, American families and businesses will pay the price in terms of higher costs going forward. And here is why. Congress created an independent Fed to keep politicians from making short-sighted economic decisions that would benefit the politicians politically. Sometimes the Fed is called on to make really hard decisions about when to raise interest rates when fighting inflation, and the whole world needs to know that the Fed is making these decisions based on data rather than being influenced by politicians. If the Fed loses its credibility, businesses and consumers will stop trusting the Fed to to control inflation, and they will start acting like inflation is here to stay, and that will make prices soar. This is not a hypothetical. When autocrats take over their central banks, inflation follows. Turkey hit nearly 80% inflation. Argentina reached nearly 200% inflation. And even here in America, back when Richard Nixon pressured the Fed to serve his political needs instead of American families, prices went up. If Trump can control the Fed, the cost of Americans' credit cards and car loans and home mortgages and student loans and more will all be higher. So today's vote is not just about Dr. Myron. It is a question of whether the Senate allows President Trump to succeed in this next phase of his very public, very obvious, months-long campaign to stack the Fed with loyalists who will prioritize Trump's personal whims over America's long-term economic health. And throughout this confirmation process, Dr. Myron has spectacularly failed to demonstrate independence from dear leader Trump. During his confirmation hearing, Dr. Myron could not say the words, "Donald Trump lost the 2020 election," making Dr. Myron the first admitted election denier to sit on the Federal Reserve Board. Dr. Myron refused to resign from his current job at the White House as the president's chief economic advisor at the Council of Economic Advisors. Dr. Myron's so-called leave of absence from the Council of Economic Advisors is also just a joke. He will be sitting literally down the street from the White House, and he has refused to disclose any communications he has with the White House while he is at the Fed. And look, let's be 100% clear here. The vote we are taking today is not to confirm Dr. Myron for a 4-month term at the Fed, the official vote. When the lights were off and the cameras stopped rolling, Dr. Myron confirmed in writing that he will not rule out staying in his seat after his term expires this January. That means he could serve as a Fed governor and as the president's chief economist simultaneously for an indefinite period. And even if none of this were happening, Dr. Myron is a terrible choice for this job. He continues to callously dismiss the fact that Trump's policies are raising prices for families. He compares tariff-driven inflation to a meteor strike while dodging questions about his own financial disclosures. Now look, you won't hear me say this often, but I agree with the Wall Street Journal editorial board when it said that Dr. Myron, quote, won't be independent in any fair definition of the word. Dr. Myron knows that if he is confirmed, every decision he makes and every vote he takes at the Fed determines whether or not he'll be able to go back to his White House job later on. That's not independence, that's servitude. And he will have zero credibility with markets, zero credibility with businesses, and zero credibility with the public if he is ultimately confirmed. Many Republican senators have paid lip service to the importance of Fed independence. Well, if you actually mean it, then you should vote no. Otherwise, we are sentencing American families to years of higher prices and higher unemployment. I urge my colleagues to vote no on Dr. Myron's nomination. Madam President, I yield back, and do I need to ask for a roll call vote here? A quorum call.
The clerk will call the roll.
Ms. Also Brooks.
As you can see, this is what they go through. Jonathan Berry's name is not the only name to be brought up. As you see on here, it says Senate Resolution 377, authorizing the en bloc consideration, meaning they're getting voted all at one time, not one by one. Consideration in executive session of certain nominations on the executive calendar. The only one that we as students of prophecy, those of you who've been following this for a while, is Jonathan Berry's name, and this is from the legislator calendar for today. This is fresh off the press. Number 255, Jonathan Berry of Maryland to be solicitor for the Department of Labor. The reason why Jonathan Berry's nomination is very important, or that of concern to those of us of students of prophecy, is because he has gone on record talking about instituting what is called Sunday laws in America. Of course, he says he wants to do it on the state level, but yet he wants to do it for every state. And brothers and sisters, this is definitely something that we need to take a look at. We'll take you back live from Washington, D.C. And it says, Jonathan Berry writes at the Department of Labor, where he previously worked, could commit the honest study of the challenges for women in the work of professional work. He also wants Congress to require employers to let workers accumulate paid time off when working overtime in place of time and a half pay, and to encourage rest time for workers by mandating time and a half compensation on the Sabbath. The suggested default will be on Sunday. Now, they do talk about giving Sabbath keepers an exemption, but brothers and sisters, we know according to prophecy that will be eliminated, and we will see a lot of things going down. Jonathan Berry is a contributor of the Project 2025 document, where even the man who's the head of Project 2025, or the main architect, Kevin Roberts, has talked about the need for Sunday laws to come into society. Brothers and sisters, this is very dangerous, extremely dangerous. As you see right here, the mandate for leadership, and these are some of the people here. But Jonathan Berry is the contributor. He is the author of Chapter 18, where it says that Congress should encourage communal rest by amending the Fair Labor Standards Act to require that workers be paid in time and a half for hours worked on the Sabbath, and that day would be Sunday. And that is what we are concerned about. And in Don's early light, Taking Back Washington to Save America, in this book review, it says that this man, who's a Roman Catholic, Roberts, wants Sabbath laws, to where he says himself, policies that encourage religious observance, such as Sabbath laws and voucher programs that include religious schools, should be encouraged. Then he says that the party creation, listen to this right here, should fight to restore Sabbath rest. In government, we should advocate for mandatory overtime pay on Sundays, for reducing Sabbath commercial hours, and for more pro-Sabbath policy choices. And that is the agenda of Mr. Berry. I'm sure he's going to be doing a whole bunch of other things. But brothers and sisters, as Seventh-day Adventists, we are watchmen, watching these movements that are going on. This is going live right now in the nation's capital. Brothers and sisters, a lot of things are coming down the pipeline, and they're doing their roll call for their quorum, as you see right here. So what happens is, what's happening right now is that Jonathan Berry, as well as many others, their names are coming up for a vote. And if the whole vote is the whole block is accepted, then what happens is that Jonathan Berry is the solicitor of labor, and you will see. We don't know if this is what he's going to do. Definitely Sunday laws, and he calls it the Chick-fil-A rule, and we definitely need to be watching. We're watching, and that's what we are, students of prophecy. We are not conspiracy theorists. We are students of prophecy, watching things unravel as God has told us. Brothers and sisters, Ellen White says, as milder measures fail, the most oppressive laws will be enacted. This thing is going to come in, it's going to creep upon us. And we at Project Latter Rain, as well as all Seventh-day Adventist students of prophecy, brothers and sisters, we're going to let you know we're going to let you know what they're doing. And we're watchmen, just watching. And when we see something, we tell you. And brothers and sisters, maybe it won't get voted today. But brothers and sisters, if it gets voted in, then brothers and sisters, we are definitely going to see some stuff. This is a website called the Project 2025 Tracker, the Project 2025 Tracker. And on Project 2025, mandate time and a half compensation on the Sabbath. It has not started, but it won't get started until he gets in. And they quote you from Project 2025. They take you to the book right here to where the mandate for leadership, to where they mandate time and a half on the Sabbath. And it says here about Sabbath rest, God ordained. This is the chapter written by Jonathan Berry, Mr. Sunday Law, who's being considered for vote right now. I believe it's going to go through. But if it doesn't go through, it's only because God stopped it. God ordained the Sabbath as a day of rest until very recently. The Judeo-Christian tradition sought to honor that mandate by moral and legal regulation of that day. That's Sunday laws. Brothers and sisters, make no mistake about it. Jonathan Berry wants Sunday laws. Brothers and sisters, this thing is real. This is happening in real time right now. As you see on the screen right here, it says Senate Resolution 377 authorizing the en bloc consideration in executive session of certain nominations on the executive calendar is the pending business. This is the pending business that they're doing right now. They're doing it right now. Mr. Sunday Law is up for nomination right now. Brothers and sisters, what does that mean? What does this mean? It means that the married man that wants to bring in Sunday laws is in place right now. Somebody says, should we be praying for a yes or a no vote? You know, if God, only God could hold it back. Let me just say this to you. They're voting right now. They are meeting right now in real time. We're just going to stay. I think it's supposed to be over in the 30 minutes, hopefully. But what happens is, well, we'll stay here all night if we got to. But what happens is that Mr. Sunday Law is, and this is it, Project 2025. This is deep, brothers and sisters. This is deep, man. This is deep. And we got to be praying. And we are definitely, and listen to this right here. Jonathan Berry, he has made it very plain. If he gets nominated, we'll show you the videos. The videos are out there where he says Chick-fil-A rule, Sunday laws. Brothers and sisters, God may block it. But God, let me tell you, as Jesus says, the scriptures must be fulfilled. So what happens is in Project 2025, they've talked about this, brothers and sisters, and we need to definitely, definitely be looking. We're going to stay on. We're not, by the grace of God, we're not going to get off. Hope that this is not one of those videos where they're there for 25 hours and stuff like that. You know, we can't, definitely can't do that. But what happens is this is the man right here. This is the man here. We're gonna play his video later on. This is Kevin Roberts. To where, brothers and sisters, he is part of Project 2025. He is one of the main pushers of Project 2025 and Project 21. What? Let me just play the video.
Called for, quote, restoring to our nation a proper public orientation toward the virtues of patriotism and courage, honor and loyalty, religion and wisdom, congregation and family, man and woman, the Sabbath and the sacred, and reason and justice.
You hear that? You hear that?
We must rebuild
Did you hear that?
proper public orientation.
Did you hear that?
What's that cause? Our recent explication, or one recent explication you might have seen, you might have even signed, called for, quote, restoring to our nation a proper public orientation toward the virtues of patriotism and courage, honor and loyalty, religion and wisdom, congregation and family, man and woman, the Sabbath and the sacred, and reason and justice.
We must rebuild institutions that tell the truth, form the soul, and honor the good. As Chesterton said, every high civilization decays by forgetting the obvious things. A civilization that forgets how to build churches, raise families, or honor the Sabbath is a civilization forgetting how to endure.
You know, so we'll come back to that because we're going to be waiting to see what the vote's going to be. But what happens is this is what he's saying, and the book. All right, these are things that he has been saying, and all we're doing is just telling you what they're saying in the light of what we already know. and we're just putting it all together to let you know that prophecy is being fulfilled, and that prophecy, we're seeing the progressive fulfillment of Bible prophecy. And with the Charlie Kirk assassination and all that, it is definitely fueling a fire. Brothers and sisters, we just gonna have to see. But what happens is, this is what I need you to look at. Listen to this. This is Jonathan Berry.
What are some of the ideas that you have there?
Yes. So this is. It sounds controversial. In many respects, it is a return to something that basically always everyone ever had. And it's specifically the idea of encouraging Sabbath rest through discouraging commerce on the Sabbath. The proposal that's in our book is amending the basic federal overtime law, Fair Labor Standards Act, to require that overtime be paid for all work done on the Sabbath.
Interesting.
Yes.
Sunday laws.
So I don't think I don't think Congress has the authority to mandate like a national closing on the Sabbath. That was always a state decision to do that. But let me add, it was always a state decision.
And yes, he's right. But what happens is, if he wants all 50 states to do it, it's just as good as if it was a national act.
To do that.
They did it.
and yeah, I'm not saying this practice was uniform, homogenous, whatever, but very, very widely spread, and only recently in the last few decades have most states moved away from this. So this is, I think this is about as far as the federal government could properly go in this space. But it would be an encouragement and inducement to rest, but really to kind of coordinate commercial activity for the other 6 days of the week.
When should states use this power to check corporate power? This is where prudential judgment has to come in. I don't have bright line rules to give you here, but I want to lay out some guideposts, some categories of state actions that are likelier to be prudent applications of state power to balance corporate power. And another one in the collective action space that I'm fond of, call it the Chick-fil-A rule. And another one in the collective action space that I'm fond of, call it the Chick-fil-A rule. And another one in the collective action space that I'm fond of, call it the Chick-fil-A rule, would be to revive Sunday closing laws.
It's over. I told
and
you.
Another one in the collective action space that I'm fond of, call it the Chick-fil-A rule, would be to revive Sunday closing laws.
That's it. That's it.
And another one in the collective action space that I'm fond of, call it the Chick-fil-A rule, would be to revive Sunday closing laws.
That's all I need to know. That's all I need to know. That's all I need to know. Who is this man that's getting nominated or voted in today? The very person that wants to bring in Sunday laws in America according to Project 2025. There it is right there, brothers and sisters. And only God can stop this. How is God going to stop it? Prophecy has to be fulfilled. And look what's going on. This is live from Washington, D.C., where they're getting ready to vote this in. An en-bloc consideration in executive session of certain nominations on which Mr. Sunday Law, Mr. Jonathan Berry, is being brought in a block. And when they say in a block, we're talking about how, beloved, how they have, like in a GC session, where they have all the list of the names from the president on down, and then they have to vote it as one, not one by one, because we'd be here all day. Brothers and sisters, any minute now, they're getting ready. This is live from Washington, D.C., the very place where the mark of the beast will be enforced through Sunday legislation. Brothers and sisters, he said it himself. You heard him say it. This is the man that they're voting in today, and Seventh-day Adventists should be concerned. I was wondering, when is this man's nomination going to come? And brothers and sisters, it may be in the very next few minutes. Brothers and sisters, this is prophetic. if it happens. So let me just say this to you. He's getting voted in, but I still gotta wait before I just really say it's going to say it's over. But let me tell you this right here, man. This thing is deep. I tell you. Wow. Yes, indeed, beloved. Oh, yes, indeed. We got to do that's right. Aggressive evangelism. Look, we're doing a mess. We're doing a revival next month called Last Days Revival. Last Days Revival here in Huntsville, Alabama. Man, why we're doing it? Because of stuff that's going on right here, man. And we are seeking to raise 20,000 extra dollars by the end of this month. And if you want to help fund Last Days Revival, please go to projectlatterrain.com. You can donate. You can go to send us a check or a cashier's check. And brothers and sisters, if you need a tax write-off, please bless us. We're trying to buy a building in Huntsville, Alabama. It's going to cost millions of dollars. If there's a millionaires that want to talk to us about helping us get the building. We need to get the building renovated, get it all ready. The building is we used to worship in it, but we had to leave because the owner, the people who was really renting it from, didn't even pay the bill, and we all were kicked out. But thank God for a First Day pastor for letting us use their church for only $500 a month. But we need our own place, brothers and sisters. Let me tell you this right here. Somebody says, but if there is a Sunday law, doesn't that mean that Jesus is coming very soon? The answer is yes. Brothers and sisters, let me tell you, this thing is real. And so what happens is their vote, this is in real time. If God allows it, we're just seeing another building block. And what we're doing now is that we're going through the community, knocking on doors. We have over 50 names that we've got in the last couple of weeks to where they can get a free Bible study from Amazing Facts on the United States and Bible prophecy. Brothers and sisters, this thing is happening in real time, even as we're talking right now. Let's go back. Now they're getting ready. They're getting ready to do it. So let's just show you this is real. This is not fake news. This is not conspiracy preaching. This is the real McCoy, brothers and sisters. Jonathan Berry, I call him Mr. Sunday Law because that's what he wants to do. Okay, Mr. Sunday Law wants to bring this in, brothers. He's being voted in right now at Congress, and thank God for the lay person that sent this to me. I was taking a nap in my office at Oakwood, and but what happens is this right here, man. The Lord, thank God for the lay people. What would we do without the lay people?
Madam President.
Oh, here it comes.
The senator from California.
Madam President, I move that we waive the quorum call.
Without objection.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President and colleagues, here to share some good news. This past weekend, California state lawmakers passed a package of legislation to lower the cost of living for working families. I say this is good news because every day Americans continue to wake up to higher and higher prices in so many ways. We all feel it at the grocery store. Many of us felt it these past few weeks as we were back to school shopping. I think we're about to see it in our health care costs pretty soon. We're certainly feeling it in our monthly energy bills. I can give a lot of examples, but I want to focus today on our energy bills and what California is doing and what we seem to be doing here in Congress. And I think it's timely because despite the fact that then candidate Donald Trump promised to, quote, slash prices by half within 12 months, the reality is that today not only are we not seeing energy prices go down, we're actually seeing them go up. That's right, they're actually rising twice as fast as inflation. So much for keeping your promises. Now, many Americans are struggling to keep up with these bills so much that they're now turning to payment plans just to keep the lights on. So in California this last weekend, lawmakers did something about it, and I think it's notable. Together, Governor Newsom and the legislature took several steps to strengthen our energy portfolio and lower prices for our consumers.
And I'm going to point out just some of the highlights of these significant but meaningful steps. This includes by working to increase the supply of energy that Californians count on. And it includes working with counterparts more formally now in states like Oregon and Washington to create a regional electrical grid across the western United States. But even for the progress that we're making at the state level and at the regional level, what's so frustrating is that at the national level, Republicans continue to pursue policies that are increasing our energy costs. Now, this administration is shamelessly working to block one of our best defenses against rising energy bills: renewable energy. And I say so because renewable energy is absolutely affordable. Renewable energy is abundant. And whether you want to admit it or not, renewable energy sources are our future. Now, I know I've heard a lot of my Republican colleagues for years say that, well, renewable energy is simply too expensive. But the reality is that today, solar is half the cost of coal and significantly cheaper than natural gas. Wind power, too, is also cheaper than both coal and gas.
Okay, so this is just somebody here, when these nominations happen, they got to go through all this litany. But nevertheless, brothers and sisters, it is on the agenda. Jonathan Berry, we're gonna this is real time, and we're gonna have. I don't care if it's an hour long. We gotta wait. We just want you to see it for yourself to let you know we just not making up stuff. Jonathan Berry's name is up to be solicitor for the Department of Labor. This is on page, I think this is page 12 or something, page 10. All right. So when you go to page 10, it's on this is nominations. When you go to the first page, it says executive calendar. Just letting you know right here, executive calendar, Monday, September 15th, which is today. And this is what the purpose is. The purpose is ordered that upon the conclusion of the morning business of Monday, September 15, 2025, the Senate proceed to executive session and resume consideration of Senate Resolution 377, an executive resolution authorizing the en bloc consideration, meaning being voted together as one, okay, in an executive session of certain nominations on the executive calendar. Ordered further that at 5:30 p.m., notwithstanding Rule 22, all post-cloture time be expired and the Senate vote on adoption of the resolution. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong in this, but it means that in about 14 minutes, 5:30 Eastern Standard Time, they have to stop all argument and just get to the vote. Because let me tell you this, if you've been in these kind of things, votes be going on forever. They were people. Everybody got to say what they got to say, and we do understand that. But eventually, all arguments or debate must close, and then they go to the vote. Brothers and sisters, so this is some things going on, and we just got to just wait until they get to it. Okay, so what happens is this right here. This is just showing you what's going on. This is from today. This is supposed to be ruling on this today. All right, and these are all the nominations. Jonathan Berry's name is on page 10. The subject is authorizing the en bloc consideration in executive session of certain nominations on the executive calendar. It was placed on the calendar for today, and I didn't even see that. And calendar number 1. All right. So what happens is that these are the things these are the nominations. Paul Atkins, and we're not going to get into all the names here because there's only one name that we, as Seventh-day Adventists, those of you that have been following this, are looking at, and that is Jonathan Berry. It's the only name that I'm concerned about, who wants to bring back the revival of Sunday closing laws. And brothers and sisters, since H.W. Blair, I haven't seen anything since the 1800s or the late from 1888 to 1910. There was a 22-year time frame where they were pushing for Sunday laws because they had people that were trying to push it, brothers and sisters. And Project 2025 has a goal, and their goal is to make America whatever they want again, right? What happens is these are the names, and these are all the names to be voted in a block. Now, will it happen? I think it's going to happen, but we'll see. You know, things have happened, but this is going to be dealt with because this is a lot of names, and so we'll be here. How long will it take for all these people to be voted on and stuff one by one? You'll be here for weeks because when you're dealing with politics, when your things don't go your way, and people that are in the way are put to be put in the way, then you will filibuster. You do all kinds of stuff. But I think that this is going to go through. This is just my opinion. And look at all these people. And there's a lot of people. Department of Energy, Department of Defense, all these things. I'm not worried about any name but Jonathan Berry. And brothers and sisters, this is something else. So look at this right here. This is page 9. It's on page 10, okay? So on page 10, this nomination, and there you see it, Jonathan Berry, to be Solicitor of Maryland, to be Solicitor for the Department of Labor. And it says Vice Sema Nanda resigned. That means that was the person before him. So this was first dealt with on the 26th of November, which was around the time we reported by Mr. Cassidy Committee on Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions without printed report. So he is definitely on the ticket. All right. He is definitely on the ticket. We're just waiting for this man to stop talking and just, they will talk. But nevertheless, this is very important. Jonathan Berry was the person that wrote this chapter. And in here about Sabbath rest, never going to forget 2.5 years ago when this book came out on Project 2025 that he was talking. And I said, okay, let me read this. When it came out, I said, let me just look for one thing about the Sabbath. And I was looking and scrolling through it, and I said, Labor, Department of Labor. I said, most likely it would be under Department of Labor. Brothers and sisters, and when I look under Chapter 18, the Department of Labor and related agencies, the man that Mr. Sunday Law himself name is on the ticket, brothers and sisters. And look what it says. At the heart of the conservative promise is the resolve to reclaim the role of each American worker. See, and this is where labor unions and all that stuff come in, as the protagonist in his or her life, and to restore the family as the center of American life. The role that labor policy plays in that promise is twofold: to give workers the support they need for rewarding, well-paying, self-driven careers, and to restore the family-supporting job as the centerpiece of the American economy. Listen to this. The Judeo-Christian tradition, stretching back to Genesis, he's going to the Bible, has always recognized fruitful work as integral to human dignity and service to God, neighbor, and family. And Americans have long been known for their work ethic. While it is primarily the culture's responsibility to affirm the dignity of work, listen to this, our federal labor and employment agencies have an important role to play by protecting workers. And that's where you're talking about protecting the Sabbath, setting boundaries for healthy functioning labor markets, and ultimately encouraging wages and conditions that can support a family. Brothers and sisters, this is where you hear the talk of defending the Sabbath and all these kind of things. So we'll go back, see where this man is at, because he's doing a lot of talking. And it's very important. Watch this.
Protect urban areas from devastation and harness our technology and our expertise. And I'm proud of that work that we've been doing. But the backdrop of all that is still an indisputable fact that reliance on fossil fuels comes at a cost. And Americans, not just Californians, but Americans are paying for it in the form of higher energy bills and in lives destroyed after these major disasters. So no matter how many times Donald Trump says it, we can never and will never drill, baby, drill our way to cheaper energy costs. Our solution has to be a more inclusive approach to energy portfolios. And we also need to streamline projects and speed up the timeline it takes to get them approved, to get them completed, and to get them online. And we need to make our grid more efficient.
And of course, Sunday laws will definitely take care of that. Even if he's not arguing for Sunday laws, nevertheless, we know where this bus is headed. They're going through a lot of talk right now, but stay on because we want to let you know the title is real and we showed you the receipts. Eventually, they will get to this vote. I know that many of us are impatient and saying, "Let's just get to the vote. Let's just get to the real nitty gritty." But this is just how it works. But what happens is that here on Project 2025, page 581, the labor agencies covered in this chapter include the Department of Labor, the Equal Opportunity Employment Commission, the National Labor Board, the National Mediation Board, and the Federal Mediation and Conciliation Service, and the Pension Benefit Guaranty Corporation. Congress has provided these agencies with authority to enforce a wide range of federal statutes regulating workplace conduct, workforce development, employee benefits, labor organization and bargaining, and international labor conditions. And one of the things that they talk about is the Sabbath. Now look at this right here. And it says here, these authorities have been abused by the left, the king of the South, to favor human resource bureaucracies, climate change activists, and union bosses, all against the interests of American workers. Here are the needed reforms that this man, if he's in, this is not just this about the Sabbath, but other things. Reverse DEI revolution in labor policy, eliminate racial classifications and critical race theory trainings. And this is talking about the reforms needed. Okay. We're going to get back to this in just a second, but let's see where this discussion is at. So the man is finished talking. Thank God. And now they're back to, I guess, the quorum call, and we'll just see what's going to happen. But brothers and sisters, this is live from the Senate in Congress in Washington, D.C., where the Mr. Sunday Law is up for vote right now. And this is where we definitely need to be watching, brothers. Oh, man. Oh, wow. All right. Yes, indeed. So we definitely, I mean, this is deep, man. We need to be looking at this. And it's just a matter of time. One of these days, we're going to be sitting up here when they start talking about Sunday legislation. And brothers and sisters, you know that this is a step towards the ultimate crisis, the Sunday law crisis. And listen to this right here. This is deep, man. And so we are just waiting. And this is the needed reforms that they're talking about. We'll get back to the video once they decide to get to the vote. But we're coming back. This is live here in real time. And it says needed reforms. Look at this. All these things. Direct. Okay, look at this. All these reforms. These are reforms they're talking about. Amend Title VII. Eliminate disparate impactability. It says Congress should eliminate all these things. The president should sign an executive order. Eliminate. This is a 900-page mandate rescinding things, sex discrimination, restrict all these things. And so just looking at it in its context, we're about to get to page 588, pro-life measures, promote pro-life workplace accommodation for mothers, all these things. Religion. Now, this is where I knew that we're getting closer to Sunday law. Religion. Provide robust protections for religious employers. Issue executive orders. Like, look at this, a whole bunch of stuff. Listen to this right here, beloved. And then they just go down and down and down and down. Allow workers accumulated paid time off. Then Congress should amend the Fair Labor Standards Act. I mean, this was brought up some years ago. And look at this right here, page 589. And so I'm just showing you the context. Congress should establish an assistant commissioner for family statistics. And then this was Jonathan Berry, Sabbath rest and stuff like that. Congress should encourage communal rest. How can Congress encourage anything? The only way they can encourage rest, they have to make it illegal, brothers and sisters. So maybe he's talking out of two sides of his neck. How can How can you say you don't want a national Sunday law, but yet you want Congress to encourage it? Brothers and sisters, this is definitely something we need to be looking at. And they're getting ready to come back. That's right, Jonathan Berry. We showed it to you right here. His name is on the ticket to be voted in along with a list of many other people. I'm not even concerned about. The only person I'm concerned about is him. And what did he say? I'm going to show you right now. Listen to what he said. Listen to what he said right here, baby. Look what he says right here. This is what we're talking about. Listen to this right here.
Give you here, but I want to lay out some guideposts, some categories of state actions that are likelier to be prudent applications of state power to balance corporate power. And another one in the collective action space that I'm fond of, call it the Chick-fil-A rule, would be to revive Sunday closing laws and carve out a space. And another one in the collective action space that I'm fond of, call it the Chick-fil-A rule, would be to revive Sunday closing laws and carve out a space of state power to balance corporate power. And another one in the collective action space that I'm fond of, of state power to balance corporate power. And another one in the collective action space that I'm fond of, call it the Chick-fil-A rule, would be to revive Sunday closing laws and carve out a space under which commerce does not intrude.
There it is right there. So this is his agenda, brothers and sisters, and we're not making this stuff up. And and if maybe somebody can correct me, here it comes.
President, I ask unanimous consent to waive the mandatory quorum call with respect to the mayor nomination, and if confirmed, the motion to reconsider be considered made and laid upon the table, and the President be immediately notified of the Senate's action.
Without objection.
Thank you.
The previous order, all post-closure time is expired. The question occurs on the adoption of the resolution. Is there a sufficient second? There appears to be. The clerk will call the roll.
Ms. Also Brooks, Ms. Baldwin, Mr. Banks, Mr. Barrasso, Mr. Bennett, Mrs. Blackburn, Mr. Blumenthal, Ms. Blunt Rochester, Mr. Booker, Mr. Bozeman, Mrs. Britt. Mr. Budd. Ms. Cantwell. Mrs. Capito. Mr. Cassidy. Ms. Collins. Mr. Coons. Mr. Cornyn.
It's a roll call vote.
Ms. Cortez Masto.
So this is an unofficial tally, and they have 14 minutes to get everything together, and I guess we're going to vote it. And brothers and sisters, we are here in real time. I hate to say real time, but we're here live, here just looking at one thing. Jonathan Berry, you saw it, to be the solicitor of the Department of Labor, and his agenda is to enforce Project 2025. And one of the things that it's going to be dealing with is Sunday blue laws, brothers and sisters. And when we say Sunday laws, you're not saying the national one. We're talking about state Sunday laws. But once you put it out there, he ain't going to be able to control it. Now, what happens is I may mean one thing. If I said something very inflammatory, if I said something which I did not intend to be inflammatory, but it sounded inflammatory, I can't control once I put it out there how people are going to interpret it and what ramifications can come upon me. He may want Sunday closing laws to be on a statewide level, but let me tell you this: I have a book that shows you that Sunday blue laws on a state level were horrible, brothers and sisters. So just imagine when the real McCoy comes, when it's worldwide, when you're going to have to do it. And then with praying for the false prophet working miracles, man, this thing is real. So what happens is they're doing a countdown, 12 minutes, and doing a roll call vote. So they're getting ready to
Mr.
vote.
Justice,
They're getting ready to vote, y'all, in 12.
Mr. Kane,
There it is right,
Mr. Kelly,
voted in. And we're going to see.
Mr. Kennedy, Mr. Kim, Mr. King,
Now, if there's anything that I am have not seen or I'm mistaken, or somebody can just kind of brush me up on, you can just put your message in there. But what happens is this is definitely something that we need to take a look at. So this is, brothers and sisters, just putting the people in that want to do the very thing that God told us was going to happen. Now, what happens is that I cannot make any predictions. I'm not making any predictions, but what I will tell you is that I won't be surprised if this vote goes through, that we will start seeing this. Could be he definitely, brothers and sisters, is putting himself in the way to be used to bring about in its embryonic stages the Sunday law crisis. Brothers and sisters, we don't know when the Sunday law is going to come. They were pushing Sunday laws for decades back in Ellen White's time. Even when Oakwood and some of our colleges were formed, they were formed and started at the very time they were talking about passing blue laws. So what happens is you got to occupy till Jesus comes. But when they start talking about a national act, and it's coming before Congress for vote, and we see fire come down from heaven, Satan impersonating Christ, spiritualism, and all these things happening, then, brothers and sisters, I think that we definitely will be in the crisis. Somebody said, is there a Spanish translation? Not that I know of. And so that's why we got to pray for the latter rain. Now, when we say Mr. Sunday Law, we're not talking about Donald Trump. We're talking about Jonathan Berry, brothers and sisters, where he's out of his own mouth said it. And right now, this is a roll call vote, getting everybody together,
Mr. Schmidt,
where I guess they're going to vote
Mr. Schumer,
this block in, and we're going to see it in real time. 10 minutes. I guess they're going to be voting in 10 minutes. So all the debate is over. And now we're just going to just see if this man's name, Jonathan Bear, that's the only name I'm worried about. That's the only name I'm concerned about because of his comments in Project 2025. And brothers and sisters, this is what they want to do. This Project 2025 thing is in high gear. They want to get it all done ASAP. They're putting it all out there. When you don't put a 900, look at this. This is Project 2025. This is their mandate for leadership. And listen to this right here. Look at this right here. You don't put out a book like this. This thing got like 5 sections and stuff. I mean, covering every conceivable part of the government, brothers and sisters. I mean, covering everything. They cover everything here. So it tells you that the Republicans, the party of the right, definitely have a plan for the not just the political, but this is connected with religion. This is connected with religion, brothers and sisters. Now look at this. This is connected with religion. Mandate for leadership, the conservative promise to bring back conservative principles. And that's why you're seeing a lot of things happening. This book came out in 2023. And what happens is that this means that people were planning at least 2 years ago to bring all the stuff that you're seeing going on. And brothers and sisters, if God allows it, we could very well see a lot of stuff happening. Let's look at the contributors to Project 2025 while this roll call vote is being taken. And it's going to be a shaking. And one day it's coming, brothers and sisters. One day we're going to wake up and it's going to be here. But what happens is this right here. I can't predict the day and the hour. I can't put out 2025, 26, 27. I can't put out exactly when this is going to come to pass, because what happens is I'll be time setting. So what happens is that we need to definitely look at this. Hold on. Let me see where they're at right now. Hold on. Let me make sure. They're doing a roll call vote. It's at 8 minutes. So in 8 minutes, they're going to do it, and we're going to take you into it. It says, we want you. Listen what it says here. We want you. The 2025 presidential transition project is the conservative movement's unified effort to be ready for the next conservative administration to govern at noon, January 2025. And so, and I'm not even going to read the rest of this. You just need to read it. You can read it yourself. And they are talking about doing this. And what happens is they want to bring about the changing. We're forming agency teams and drafting transition plans to move out upon the president's utterance of "So help me God." And all, look at this, Jonathan Berry. This is Mr. Sunday Law. Okay, this is Mr. Sunday Law, and that's the nickname I've given him because he wants a Sunday Law, definitely. And of course, Ben Carson's name is in there, Seventh-day Adventist. We need to keep him in prayer, brothers and sisters. I mean, he can definitely, and just pray for him that God would just light a fire under him to open his mouth. Because what happens is that we know where this bus is headed. These are the authors of Project 2025. I'm not even worried about what they wrote in the other parts of the book. But listen to this right here. They're talking about a whole bunch of stuff here. And let's see what page are we on. Okay. Yes. So this is definitely their plan. This is contributors. These are contributors in here. Let me see where they at right now. All right, 6 more minutes. Hold on. I guess they're getting ready to go to vote. But definitely something we need to be taking a look at. You know, all these people here. I mean, you know, this was done a couple of years ago. And where you didn't necessarily know whether or not, you know, we really didn't know that there would be a Republican president. I mean, they had Kamala in the lead, and I wouldn't have been surprised if she won. But brothers and sisters, we all know what happened. And we just definitely need to see. I'm just looking to see if Charlie Kirk's name is in here. But what happens is of course, condolences to his wife and family. But what happens is this right here, man, a lot of stuff. I mean, look at all these people, man. These people are ready. I mean, these people are ready. These people are ready. These were contributors to Project 2025. And we already know Mr. Sunday Law was definitely, he was an author. Ken Ivory, this guy right here, Ken Ivory was the guy who wanted to pass a Sunday Law for the state of Utah. All right, no, his name is not on here. Charlie Kirk's name is not on here. But nevertheless, brothers and sisters, this is the conservative mandate to bring about, and see what happens is it helps to bring about the structures to where the image of the beast can be formed. We know it's formed by apostate Protestantism. Now, let's see where it's at right here. And of course, as we said before, Jonathan Berry, we're just looking at it right here. You need to spread this video far and wide to be the solicitor of labor. His name is coming up for vote right now. Right now. And look at this right here. Project 2025 tracker. This is one of their agendas. Mandate time and a half compensation on the Sabbath is not yet started. Yes, they give an exemption for Sabbath keepers, for true Sabbath keepers on Saturday. But we know that this is nothing more, brothers and sisters. It's something that is going to lead to something that we know that don't need to be happening. So, yes, it's here. Now look at this right here. Let me just go back. Let me let you hear his own voice. This is the man that's getting ready to be voted in a matter of minutes. Listen.
Action space that I'm fond of, call it the Chick-fil-A rule, would be to revive Sunday closing laws. And another one in the collective action space that I'm fond of, call it the Chick-fil-A rule, would be to revive Sunday closing laws, state power to balance corporate power. And another one in the collective action space that I'm fond of, call it the Chick-fil-A rule, would be to revive Sunday closing laws.
And that's all I need to know. You know, anybody like that who's talking about that, brothers and sisters, definitely you got to watch this stuff. It's going to happen. And in 3 minutes, I guess they're getting ready to go to the vote. This is a nomination page. And this came out today. Jonathan Berry of Maryland to be solicitor of the Department of Labor. if he gets this right here, he's going to be able to enforce a whole bunch of laws, brothers and sisters. And the only one I'm concerned about is the national one, the national Sunday, well, not national, Sunday closing laws. And this is what we need to definitely take a look at. And all it's going to do is just instigate it. If anything, at worst, it's just going to instigate something or make it okay for where somebody else could come and just put it before Congress and now we didn't make this a national act. We're going to have states and governors that are not going to do it. So what we're going to have to do is we're just going to have to just make it national, like the vax, make it national, like April 17th, April 15th, tax time. We just got to make it national and get everybody to do it. Do you understand this right here? And of course, when spiritualism gets involved, then you know it's over, brothers and sisters. It's over, man. This thing is here, man. And I think it is 2 minutes. Okay, it's the countdown. 2 minute warning, y'all. 2 minute warning. Get started. I'm just going to let you see it. And then this is the roll call. I guess they're getting ready to vote. Senate Resolution 377, authorizing the en bloc consideration of executive action. Executive session of certain nominations on the executive floor. I'm telling you, this thing is deep. You talking about getting the message out right now? Well, let's just see what's going to happen. But it looks like they're getting ready to do a vote, and the man that I'm concerned about, it's over, man. This thing is real. Wants to bring about Sunday closing laws, which we know is Seventh-day Adventist has a big significance as it relates to end time events. This is less than a minute left, and then we're gonna just see what they do. All right. All right. I guess it's the unofficial tally. They've had their time. Let's see what happens. Will a vote go through? I'm not educated on all this, so I'm just going by what I believe is about to happen. But it is on the record today, brothers and sisters. You need to spread this far and wide. This is what we're doing, and we want to just ask you if you want to support. This is our Pentecost 2025 meeting called Last Days Revival in Huntsville, Alabama, and we're putting this out here. And we got the Amazing Facts Bible Study on the America and Prophecy on this QR code, and so we're getting it out. And if you want to support, we're trying to get $20,000 more dollars, and you see why we need it now because man, I looked at the bill today. The bill for the handbills is like almost over $14,000. So we need to pray, man, that God will send angels and His send His Spirit to every one of these flyers. That a special anointing. We're going out knocking on doors, and we're trying to get as many people to come to the meeting so we can bring people out of Babylon. And we have a church building that is for sale in Huntsville, and we try to buy it, man, and we don't have the money, but you do. And if you want to support it, don't send it to Project Ladder Rain. Send it to South Huntsville Seventh-day Adventist Church. It's online, and I think we're gonna, again, they're getting ready to do their thing, but we're gonna stay on until the vote is taken. We're just waiting. Right. And so this is dealing with the nominations. And it's talking about voting it in block, meaning they're going to vote it all at one time, just like how we do at a general conference session or at a local church session. This is live in real. This is happening in real time. Yes, indeed. So we're just waiting.
Senator
Here it is.
Collins, Crapo, Fisher, Kennedy, Marshall, McCormick, Murkowski. Senators voting in the negative: Cantwell, Cortez Masto, Fetterman, Hassan, Kim, King, Merkley, Rosen, and Smith. Ms. Duckworth, no.
All right. So we'll see. Will it get voted in? We'll see. Now, does anybody understand what this vote is? I don't know if this is the roll call vote or the actual vote. We just want to make sure we don't want to give any misinformation out there. But definitely, this is on the ticket with all these nominations.
Mr. Wyden, no. Mrs. Murray, no. Mrs. Capito, aye. Mr. Warnock, no. Mr. Barrasso, aye. Mr. Cotton, aye. Mr. Rounds, aye. Mr. Mullen, aye.
Oh, okay.
Ms. Hirono, no. Mr. Moreno, aye. Mr. Wicker, Mr. Wicker, aye. Mr. Cornyn, aye. Mr. Scott of Florida, aye.
I think this is the real vote, y'all.
Mrs. Hyde Smith, aye. Mrs. Gillibrand, no. Mr. Booker, no. Ms. Warren, no. Ms. Baldwin, no. Mr. Grassley, aye. Mr. Bozeman, aye. Mr. Justice, aye. Mr. Tillis, aye. Mr. Scott of South Carolina, aye. Mrs. Blackburn, aye. Mr. Durbin, no.
I believe this is the vote, everybody.
Mr. Husted, aye. Mr. Booker, no. Ms. Klobuchar, no. Mr. Ossoff, no. Mr. Curtis, aye. Mr. Young, aye. Miss Lummis, aye. Mr. Cassidy, aye. Mr. Murphy, Mr. Murphy, no. Mr. Lujan, no. Mr. Ricketts, aye. Mr. Schatz, no. Mr. Langford, aye. Mr. Kelly, no. Mr. Johnson, aye. Mr. Whitehouse, no. Mrs. Moody, aye. Mr. Markey, no. Mr. Warner,
We're going to come back to this in a minute. And just to let you know that when we say Mr. Sunday Law, this is not a vote for the National Sunday Law. Just want to make that very clear. It's about the man, Jonathan Berry, who's on the ticket today to be nominated or have his nomination confirmed along with others on this Senate resolution to bring about Sunday closing laws. And so he gets in today, then he can definitely push his agenda for Sunday closing laws. For those of you that do not know, let me just show you again. We don't want nobody to be confused, okay? So what happens is this is what Jonathan Berry said recently.
State power to balance corporate power. And another one in the collective action space that I'm fond of, call it the Chick-fil-A rule, would be to revive Sunday closing laws. Another one in the collective action space that I'm fond of, call it the Chick-fil-A rule, would be to revive Sunday closing laws. Another one in the collective action space that I'm fond of, call it the Chick-fil-A rule, would be to revive Sunday closing laws.
All right. And so that's what he wants to do. And yes, he talks about accommodations for Sabbath keepers. But brothers and sisters, we know where this bus is going to head. So we don't believe anything that they're going to say. With that, we know where this is headed. But this is vote in real time. Jonathan Berry. This is Jonathan Berry to be Solicitor of Labor. So they're voting it as a block, similar to how you see it at a business meeting or a nomination committee meeting at a church and at the GC session where you have a block of names and you just vote them all. You don't go one by one. So they're just voting all of them. And so the vote is almost over. They have about 35 more votes, and we're going to take you into it. We'll see how the vote goes.
Mr. Hoven, aye. Mr. Peters, no. Mr. Schmidt, aye. Mr. Haggerty, Mr. Haggerty, aye. Mr. Reed, Mr. Reed, no. Mr. Banks, aye. Mr. Thune, aye. Miss Ernst, aye. Mr. Bennett, no. Mr. Cruz, aye. Mr. Coons, no.
Just want to give you an update. I got the person that sent this message to me told me that this is, and Brother Bowen, if you're listening, you can give me some further clarity. It is the cloture vote after it finally, the final tally, then the person is nominated. After the Senate resolution passed, then it will give them the leverage to nominate in groups, which may happen this week. Well, if this goes down, then it's just really just rubber stamping as far as I'm concerned. Let's continue to watch. Let's see if this vote goes through.
Mr. Kane, no. Mr. Sullivan, aye. Mr. Paul, aye. Miss Also Brooks. Miss Also Brooks. No. Mr. McConnell. Mr. McConnell. Aye. Mr. Kramer. Mr. Kramer. Aye. Mr. Hawley. Mr. Hawley. Aye.
All right, they have about 15 more votes left because it's 100 in Congress.
Mr. Tuberville. Mr. Tuberville. Aye. Miss Slotkin. Miss Slotkin. No. Mr. Rish. Mr. Rish. Aye. Mr. Schiff. Mr. Schiff. No.
All right, I think they got the majority. I think if you get two more, then it's definitely they have the votes to get this in.
Mrs. Shaheen. Mrs. Shaheen. No. Mr. Schumer. Mr. Schumer. No.
They got about 8 more votes left. This is a roll call vote. It, the roll call vote is a method of voting in which each member of a legislative body or group is called on individually to declare their vote. Unlike a voice vote, which records only the final tally, a roll call vote creates a public record of how each
Mr.
individual
Sheehy.
voted.
Mr. Sheehy. Aye.
It says that the United States Senate regularly holds roll call votes for presidential nominees.
Mr. Blumenthal, Mr. Blumenthal, no.
All right.
Mr. Gallego, Mr. Gallego, no.
The yeas are 51, the nays are 44, and the resolution is agreed to. The clerk will report the motion to invoke cloture.
Cloture motion. We, the undersigned senators, in accordance with the provisions of Rule 22 of the Standing Rules of the Senate, do hereby move to bring to a close debate on the nomination of Stephen Moran of New York to be a member of the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System for the unexpired term of 14 years from February 1st, 2012, signed by 17 senators.
Under the previous order, the mandatory quorum call under Rule 22 has been waived. The question is it the sense of the Senate that the debate on the nomination of Stephen Moran of New York to be member of the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System for the unexpired term of 14 years from February 1st, 2012 shall be brought to a close? The yeas and nays are mandatory under the rule. The clerk will call the roll.
Ms. Alston-Brooks. Ms. Baldwin.
Okay, so, whew, oh, wait. So, it looks like, and I'm just saying that they did the first. I mean, let me make sure I understand this correctly. Yeah, the roll call vote was authorizing the en bloc consideration executive session of certain nominations. Um, what does this mean? You know, whatever it is, something passed. Okay, something passed. I want to make sure that somebody, okay, Larry, you said this resolution provides for en bloc consideration in executive session of nominations for various offices and ambassadors, the agencies in which the executive officers shall serve. Now, if this is not the confirmation, this is definitely bringing it a step closer, but I just want to make super duper sure. All right. Super duper sure. Brothers and sisters, is definitely something we need to take a look at. Oh, I tell you. So going back to what we've talked about for the last, how long we've been on? We've been on for almost 2 hours. All right, for the last 2 hours, this is, of course, Jonathan Berry's name. This is Department of Labor, and we're going to go up. This is what came out on the Senate.gov website. This is the executive calendar for Monday, the 15th. And this definitely is, and this is what it is, ordered that upon conclusion, unanimous consent agreement. It says, ordered that the conclusion of morning business on Monday, September 15th, 2025, the Senate proceed to executive session and resume consideration of Senate Resolution 377, executive resolution authorizing the en bloc consideration in executive session of certain nominations, of which it says that at 5:30 p.m., notwithstanding Rule 22, all post-closure time be expired and the Senate vote on the adoption of the resolution. So we'll see what this means, but definitely, I mean, I believe that he's going to get in, and this is just taking us one step closer to the enforcement of Sunday observance in turn, if God allows it, because understand it's got to be allowed. It's going to happen. Whatever's going to happen, it's going to happen. Now, this is here in motion to invoke cloture, the nomination of Stephen Moran to be member of the Board of Governors, and I'm not even going to look at that. But the most important thing has taken place. Definitely, he's been voted. So let me ask you this, and I'm trying to understand what's going on because we want to make sure that we interpret everything rightly, that we may present. The matter of fact, the voting is already over. Did Mr. Sunday Law get voted? Okay, we want to let everybody know that this is not a Sunday Law bill. Okay, when we say Mr. Sunday Law, we're talking about the man who wants to bring it in under the Project 2025 mandate, Jonathan Berry. So please do not interpret this as the Sunday Law. We never said the Sunday Law. We're talking about Mr. Sunday Law himself, Jonathan Berry. And we made that very clear. We want to make that very clear. When we say Mr. Sunday Law, that's not what we're talking about. It's who we're talking about. We're talking about this man right here, Jonathan Berry, who wants to bring Sunday closing laws. And so we need to make sure that we are clear on that. So let's see what happens. And let me see. Yes, Mr. Sunday Law himself. All right. All right. So we're going to go to the website now. This is Mr. Sunday Law himself right here, brothers and sisters, and we call him that because of what he wants to do. He wants to bring about Sunday closing laws and to have Congress encourage that on a national level by state legislation. Which, brothers and sisters, how that's going to roll, only the Lord knows. But oh yes, definitely. All right, we just want to make sure. So. Yes, indeed. We just want to make sure we got that out. Yeah, we are near, brothers and sisters. We are near. We are near. We are near. Yes, made very plain. So this is about his nomination. So somebody says here they will vote in executive session in block. So another hurdle. So it looks like another hurdle has been how did I say this right here? Another hurdle for John that Jonathan Berry had. He has overcome that. So that's very it's very interesting to see that. So this is very powerful. Yes, indeed. So let me see what we got here. All right. So we've already showed you the document, and definitely is bringing it closer. All right, let me see what we got right here. So the United States Senate, this is on their website. All right, this is on their website. Calendar count, executive calendar, tentative floor schedule. Right now, you can ask questions. If you have any questions on what has transpired, please feel free. Because we're watching. Because we're told in the spirit of prophecy that we must prepare for what is soon to break upon the world as an overwhelming surprise. So please, we continue to watch, we continue to pray, and we continue to make sure that we're in Christ. Amen. Amen. So we're still watching. We're not going off right now. But this is definitely. Now, they're not mentioning anything about Sunday laws per se. It's just the man who wants to bring it in. Okay, we made that very plain. I don't know how people can miss that. We made that very plain. All right. Yes, indeed, brothers and sisters. All right. It's definitely church and state steadily coming together. It's definitely one step. When can we expect the final decision? I'm trying to understand it right now. But bottom line is, it's one step closer to him getting in. So without a question, they're still voting. They're voting on somebody else now. So this is not have this. Is Jonathan Berry was. This thing is the block. Okay, hold on one second. Mm-mm-mm. Yes, indeed. All right. And so, this Project 2025 thing, man, is so serious. And we're looking at the signs of the times. And we're looking at the signs of the times because God told us, that's right. That's right, Kevin. It's almost time to go home. It's almost time to go home. And the Bible says, when you shall see all these things come to pass, look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. Yes, indeed. Yes. And so, what should our response be to this? Definitely got to get the third angel's message out. And we're getting these billboards out because it's important. Man, this thing is serious. All right. Yes, indeed. So, definitely looking at it. So, they're doing this thing with this guy, with this other person. And they're doing a roll call vote on this guy right now. So, they're doing a yay or a nay on this other dude, Stephen Myron. So, I guess it's going a little faster than what has gone before. Yeah, but they're to invoke cloture on the nomination of this one man. It looks like, and we just need to make sure that we have it right, that the other names, at least the nomination of them, either has gone through or it has gone through another process, which makes it easier for it to go through the next one, which looks like somebody just sent me after this, the Senate resolution passed, then it will give them the leverage to nominate groups, which may happen this week. So it's implied by one of the people that has sent me this information that this is something, I don't know. We'll see. I just want to make sure we got this thing right. But brothers and sisters, we know what is coming down the pipeline. So this roll call vote is what it is. We're gonna see what happens after this one. We're gonna stay. Okay. All right, as you see. Yes. And so we want to make sure that we interpret this correctly. But definitely on the executive calendar, definitely, definitely on the executive calendar, it tells you what the purpose was. And so, and let me read it to you one more time, that upon the conclusion of the morning business on Monday, which is today, the Senate proceed to executive session and resume consideration of Senate Resolution 377, an executive resolution authorizing an en bloc consideration in executive session of certain nominations on the executive calendar, and ordered further the disposition of the resolution, the Senate vote on the motion to invoke cloture on the nomination of Stephen Moran of New York to be a member. So this vote has already taken place. Now they have another one. So if this is not Jonathan Berry getting voted in, it's definitely voting him in to go to the final vote, and that definitely should seal the deal. And then Mr. Sunday Law is in, and then he'll do whatever he wants on this. So we have to continue to keep watching, because brothers and sisters, we are not going to close our eyes to what the Lord Jesus has already told us is going to happen. And brothers and sisters, what must we do? It's definitely time for us to receive the outpouring of the Holy Spirit in the early rain and the latter rain. Is he being voted in today because your title indicates or not? Yes, definitely voted in for something. Because just hearing other people and stuff like that and looking at it. But the block thing, that's definitely, if it's not him being voted in, it's definitely taking it closer. I just want to make sure that this is what it is. And I'm going to have to change the title, and that's okay. But what happens is, what happened today is very, very important. Yes, indeed. It's almost time to go home. All right. Let me see where we at right now. Let's go back to Congress. All right, let me see what's going on. All right. And this is dealing with the nomination. We want to just hang on just to see if something happens after this.
Mr. Kennedy, aye. Ms. Rosen, no. Mr. Van Hollen, no. Mr. Scott of Florida, aye. Mr. Reed, no. Mr. Murphy, no.
And just want to just give you an update. Somebody just sent me something. Somebody just sent me something that may give more context to this. All right, let me see what it says here. Let me show you what it says here. And it says, this is NPR News, because it's dealing with these nominations. And somebody just sent it, and it says, the Senate GOP, because these nominations have been taking a while to get through. But it says the Senate Republicans turn to nuclear option to speed up the confirmation of Trump's nominees. All right, it's on the news. It is definitely on the news. And I think this is what we're seeing right here. All right. Let me see what's going on here. And just looking here on Google, it says Senate Republicans invoke nuclear option to change nomination rules. Republicans go nuclear to help Trump nominees, invite Democrat backlash. Senate GOP goes nuclear to break Trump nominee gridlock. Okay, is it a nominee? We'll see what it is. All right, here we go. This is from Politico. It says Senate Republicans deployed the nuclear option Thursday to begin clearing a pileup of President Trump's nominees, of which Jonathan Barr is one of them, paving the way for them to be confirmed in potentially large groups starting next week. So what happens is, this was for 9/11. So definitely this week, that if it's not today, it's definitely someday this week. It says the 53-45 vote to change the rules comes after frustration about the slow pace of confirmations boiled over in the GOP conference following the collapse of bipartisan negotiations over the summer to confirm a package of nominees. The Senate still needs to finalize the rule changes on the floor next week, but Thursday's vote puts them on track to confirm a slate of 48 Trump nominees as a block instead of voting on them individually, a process that would otherwise take months. So it seems like the finalized change rules, it made it clear that one of my priorities was to get the Senate functioning again. The Senate can't function effectively as a legislative body in that confirmation process in the state that it is in, right? Paving the way for them to be confirmed in large groups starting next week. So we'll see what that is. We want to make super sure, as we want to make sure we understand this. All right, so let me see. Is the vote over? That's the question. I don't think the vote is over. All right.
Mr. Warnock, no. Mr. Bennett, no. Mrs. Britt, aye. Mr. Marino, aye.
It's this vote is almost over anyway. They got about 10 more votes, and so we will come back to that. Just want to make sure there's nothing else going on after that, but definitely something is definitely happening to bring us closer to this possible prophetic nomination of Jonathan Berry, if he has not been, if that wasn't what it was supposed to be. Somebody said the votation was already done. Okay. All right, one more step for Jonathan Berry to become the soliciting a neighbor. Okay. Okay, got you. Now, my ton, where did you get that? The remaining nominees were advanced in block by party line votes of 12 to 11. All nominations will now move to the Senate floor for final vote at a later date. Okay, and they did say they want to do it this week. All right. We want to thank my dear viewer that sent this information to me. All right. All right. All right. So let me see what other questions we have. Just want to wait to see what happens after this one. All right. All right. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna change the title just to be sure that Mr. Sunday Law's nomination vote is happening right now. Definitely the nomination is happening, and it's definitely taking us closer. And this is something really serious. All right. All right, let me change that. Okay. All right. Okay, good. All right. So we want to make sure. All right. It's definitely one step closer, which we know is going to happen. Let's see where the vote is at right now for this man that they're talking about, Stephen Myron. And then we're going to close in a minute. All right.
Mr. Schumer, no. Mr. McCormick, aye.
Thank you.
On this vote, the yeas are 50 and the nays are 44. The motion is agreed to. The clerk will report the nomination.
Federal Reserve System, Stephen Moran of New York, to be a member of the Board of Governors.
We're going to see what happens after this.
Can we go? Okay.
They may be adjourning.
President.
Senator from Kansas.
Mr. President, typically when we come to this hallowed floor, we're speaking on behalf of ourselves as senators, but tonight I want to speak on behalf of also my good staff. And to start, I'd like to start with the scripture from the psalmist.
Wow.
The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those crushed in spirit. And tonight, many of us indeed are brokenhearted and crushed in spirit. It's tonight that we gather with heavy hearts to honor the extraordinary life of Charlie Kirk, a visionary conservative leader whose unyielding passion for freedom and faith ignited millions. Taken from us far too soon by a tragic political assassination on September 10th, 2025, Charlie's light continues to shine as a beacon for all of us who cherish liberty. Charlie was born in 1993 in a Chicago suburb, and he revealed his political fire early on. As a high schooler, he volunteered tirelessly for campaigns, and he penned sharp insights for Breitbart, already challenging the status quo with the clarity of a born leader. At just 18, in 2012, he founded Turning Point USA, a movement that would transform the landscape for young conservatives, millennials, and Gen Zers alike. Through electrifying campus activism, his influential podcasts and nationwide tours, Charlie mobilized a generation to stand firm against the shadows of big government and socialism. Today, many of those inspired young adults serve in our congressional offices, carrying forward the fight to safeguard our traditional values and constitutional rights from an ever-encroaching state. Many of these people will someday be speaking from this same floor. Now, Charlie wasn't just a preacher. He was a soul shaped by faith. He was unafraid to declare himself a child of God. He opened his heart and mind to every voice, fostering genuine dialogue amid division. As a champion of free speech and individual liberty, he urged the next generation to reclaim traditional family values, the bedrock of a thriving America. Through Turning Point USA and his commanding media presence, he didn't merely shape conservative thought. He empowered a movement, defending our ideas against progressive overreach with grace, grit, and unwavering optimism. Though an evil act sought to silence him, it only amplified his voice, transforming Charlie into a hero, a martyr whose sacrifices kindled a fire in us all. His spirit endures in the hearts of those he empowered to fight for liberty, reminding us that true leaders don't fade, they inspire. So I ask you, everyone listening today, including those of us who are brokenhearted and crushed in spirit, let us honor Charlie by living lives worthy of his legacy. Let not your anger turn into hate. Let me say that again. Let not your anger turn into hate. Please don't let Charlie's distractors win. Rather, channel your emotions into fighting with renewed vigor for the heart and soul of this great republic, nurturing the next generation of conservative leaders. Charlie's flame burns brighter through each of us. May Charlie Kirk rest in peace. And may God bless his memory, his family, and our shared mission. Thank you, Mr. President. I yield the floor.
Mr. President?
Senator from New Jersey?
Yes. Mr. President, I rise today to raise my concerns about a vote we're about to take on the nomination of Stephen Myron for the board of the Federal Reserve. I rise because the scarcest resource that we have in politics right now is trust. And unfortunately, trust is also the most important resource we need to heal.
So I'm just going to stop right here. They're dealing with this thing with this man. And obviously there is some issues with this man that they have that we're not going to cover. But brothers and sisters, whether he was nominated today or not, definitely this is one step closer to his personal agenda, one way or the other, to bring about Sunday closing laws. I personally believe that it's going to happen. I personally believe it's going to happen soon. Now, the word is that this week, if this was not it, but nonetheless, we did change the title by this nomination. Definitely, it went down today, but in what stage, brothers and sisters? Most likely the last step. And of course, as thank you for the thing, I want to thank one of our viewers for showing that they had to do it like this in order to get these, because if you did it one by one, it would take months to get this done. But we'll see what happens. And we got to continue to keep our eyes on the prize. Continue to support this self-supporting ministry with your donations and gifts as we seek to bring about the loud cry. Let us receive the righteousness of Christ by opening the door of the heart to Christ and allowing his righteousness to be our righteousness. For by grace are we saved through faith, and that not of yourselves. It is the gift of God. Let us receive that gift and let us walk in faith. Always remember that you can never lose with the name that we choose, and his name is Jesus Christ, the King of the Jews, and that this is the truth of the hour, filled with the Holy Ghost power, and it is too sweet to be sour. If there's any other updates today, we will definitely do that. We will continue to watch. Until next time, may God truly and richly bless you.